Alright, so if you don't know, I'm in my onesie because it's a little bit cold in Victoria, Melbourne today. We're reading, sorry, not reading, I've already read the book. We are looking at a book today that I've read called The Anomaly. It's by Mitchell Rutger. Hope I got that right. It's been dubbed the blockbuster summer thriller. Okay, now it's actually got a lot of accolades from a number of famous authors. Such of those authors are C.J. Tudor, who wrote The Chalkman, which I thoroughly enjoyed and have reviewed. Also, Simon Lelik, which I've also reviewed one of his books. They all loved it, and it has been deemed something that Stephen King would write. Now, I found this book a mixture between National Treasure, which I loved, and The Cave, which I also loved, with a little splash of Cabin in the Woods. So let's get into the plot. If Indiana Jones lived in the X-Files era, he might bear at least a passing resemblance to Nolan Moore, a rogue archaeologist hosting a documentary series dismissed by the real experts, but beloved by conspiracy theorists. Nolan sets out to retrace the steps of an explorer from 1909 who claimed to have discovered a mysterious cavern high up in the ancient rock of the Grand Canyon. And for once he may have actually found what he seeks. Then the trip takes a nasty turn, and the cave begins turning against him in mysterious ways. Nolan's stories becomes one of survival against seemingly impossible odds. The only way out is to answer a series of intriguing questions. What is this strange cave? How has it remained hidden for so long? And what secrets does it conceal that made its last visitors attempts to steal it forever? So what I loved about this book is it had a gradual, slow beginning. It was a slow climb until it got to the thrilling part, but it was well thought out. Sometimes when you get like a thriller and a horror, there can be a lot of gaps in it that are never answered. I found this book answered them all. An example of this is a Stephen King book. Now, I'm a huge fan of Stephen King, but sometimes he can leave large gaps in his books about how the monsters came around, why they came around, that type of thing. This book kind of cleaned it up nicely. I liked the fact that it brought in history. So it actually talked about the Native Americans and their historical beliefs and their myths, and incorporated that into the book, as well as setting it in a real life location. So the book was actually set in the Grand Canyon instead of a make-believe area, which I found, I don't know, it felt a little bit more realistic, I suppose. Something I didn't like about the book is, I know this is a thriller and it's a fiction, but when it comes to human mortality, I think it should be realistic. During this book, human mortality kind of got put to the back. People who should have died come back to life. It didn't really make sense. But apart from that, it was a great book. I loved the monsters in it. I loved the plot behind how the monsters came. I loved the history behind it. It was just an amazing book. I would 100% recommend reading it. I'm going to rate it a 5.3 out of 6. This is definitely a book that probably has been written in a hope that for a movie deal. So I wouldn't be surprised if this will be written into a screenplay and you'll be seeing it on Netflix or a movie sometime soon. So 100% thumbs up to it. Recommend reading it if this is the type of book you like. And happy reading.